Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. Ex-Indian official has been uh, declared wanted by the FBI in connection with the plot to murder an American citizen, Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. Now, Gurpatwant Singh Pannun, who is Gurpatwant Singh Pannun? He is a Khalistani terrorist who has been espousing separatism in America. He has been issuing threatenings to Indian to Indian government and to Indians right there sitting from America. Now, the defendant and Indian government employee. This is the indictment allegedly conspired with another person. That is what it says, with another person, and who in turn hired a third person for the murder of Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. But the person that he was in touch with, the Indian officer, government employee, was Nikhil Gupta. Now, Nikhil Gupta has since been extradited from the Czech Republic, and he is in the American jail. Now, the Indian officer that's been named is Vikas Yadav. He's been charged by the US authorities, who's a former government employee. He has been named in that uh, in that uh, ch- he has been declared wanted by the FBI. In fact, they've also released a poster with three photographs of Vikas Yadav. Now it says uh, that uh, he remains at large. That the defendant, an Indian government employee, allegedly conspired with a criminal associated attempted to assassinate a U.S. citizen on American soil for exercising their First Amendment rights. That is what the FBI director has said. And the person who he was in touch with is Nikhil Gupta, who was extradited to the US to face trial for the alleged plot to assassinate Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. Now, it goes on to say that today's charge demonstrate that the Justice Department will not tolerate attempts to target and endanger Americans and to undermine the rights to which every US citizen is entitled. Now, uh, the indictment also says that Yadav has described his position as a senior field officer with responsibilities in security management and intelligence. Yadav has also previously served in the India's Central Reserve Police Force and received officer training in battlecraft and weapons. Yadav is a citizen and resident of India, and he directed the plot to assassinate the victim from India. Now, that's the photograph that you see on your screen of Vikas Yadav and Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. Now, Pannu has been living in America and issuing threats to Indians. He has been issuing threats to blow up an Indian airline flight. He has been issuing threats to foment terrorism in India. He's also been glorifying the killers of former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi. But the MEA has said that the officer that has been named by the US is no longer an employee, government employee. In fact, that was to a specific question that was asked to the spokesperson of the MEA. And he has, in fact, replied that he no longer is a government employee. If we can have that bite up, in which he was asked, the MEA spokesperson, specifically about this person who has been named by the US authorities.
I just confirmed that yes, this particular gentleman, he is not part of the Government of India setup. He's not an employee. Beyond that, I don't have anything to share with you. Regarding people who've gone to the United States, I would say that these are members of the high-level inquiry committee that had been set up in November of 2023 to look into the inputs that were shared with us by the US, and we have been telling you that we have taken these inputs very seriously, and we remained engaged with the US side on this particular matter. Two members of the high-level committee, they've traveled there and they've held meetings with the US side. So that is what I have to share with you.
Right. The indictment alleged that Vikas Yadav had, in fact, along with his co-conspirator Nikhil Gupta, had had in fact plotted the killing of Gurpatwant Singh Pannun, an American official, an American citizen on American soil, and they had actually paid $100,000 was the deal that was involved, and already advance payment was made, and they are also put out those photographs. But Nikhil Gupta had in turn hired another person who worked for the FBI and the American agencies and had alerted. That's how Americans got to know about it. Now, this story was first reported in newspapers, in media organizations. At that time, Vikas Yadav was not named. You said CC1, but now this is the wanted that poster by the FBI, which says that murder for hire, conspiracy, and names the Indian official along with the photographs. It goes on to say that the FBI has taken a strong note of it. FBI will not tolerate acts of violence or other efforts to retaliate against those residing in the US for exercising their constitutional, uh, uh, you know, the place that they have in that country. So clearly a major development. And when White House spokesperson was specifically asked about it, he said that that India has been cooperating on this matter. They've been sharing the investigation, and America has also been sharing their investigation with India, and there is complete coordination. If we can have that soundbite up of Washington spokesperson of the White House.
We being the U.S. government broadly, updated members of the Committee of Inquiry about the investigation that the United States has been conducting. We've received an update from them on the investigation that they have been conducting. It was a productive meeting, and I will leave it at that.
Did they also inform you about some of the actions they might have taken?
They did inform us that the individual who was named in the Justice Department indictment is no longer an employee of the Indian government.
Are you satisfied with the cooperation with the Indian government?
We are satisfied with the cooperation. It continues to be an ongoing process. We continue to work with them on that, but we do appreciate the cooperation, and we appreciate them updating us on their investigation as we update them on ours.
And do you see further meetings with them?
I don't have anything to announce.
Right, you heard it. The White House spokesperson saying that they are satisfied with the cooperation by government of India as far as this case is concerned. Now, this comes days after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau once again raked up the issue of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a Canadian who was killed in Canada. Canada has since then been saying that it is the agents of the government of India who were involved in the killing of Nijjar on Canadian soil, and they have been saying that India has been given all the evidence, but India says that not a shred of evidence has been shared with them, and that has taken the relation between the two countries to a low, with diplomats being expelled from both the countries. Now, India has been dealing with these two cases differently. On Canada, they say that no evidence has been shared in the case of Canada, and of course, Trudeau has also said that those were based on intelligence inputs, and there was no evidence that there was no hard evidentiary proof. That's exactly what Trudeau had said, and that was in a public hearing. He said that, although he's been saying repeatedly that the agents of government of India had were responsible for the killing of Niger, India has since then clearly rejected all those statements and saying that there is no evidence that has been shared with India. But in case of Pannu, obviously the Americans have shared materials with India, and India had started an investigation right at the time when this issue came to the fore in the first place. And India has since then been investigating that case, and MEA now clearly saying that that he's no longer a government employee, but for the first time he has been named by the Americans, and they have been saying that he was an associate of RNAW, and he in the past had been associated with the CRPF. Vikas Yadav, who had, in fact, whose co-conspirator was Nikhil Gupta, an Indian citizen who was arrested in Czech Republic. He's been extradited to US. Nikhil Gupta had in turn hired another person who was supposed to carry out this act of murder, but he turned out as an agent of the FBI and Americans. That is what, according to America, the whole plot unfolded. They say that money also exchanged hands. There was a deal of $100,000 against the killing of Pannu, and some advance payment was also made. So clearly, that's the big story that is developing. India already making it clear that they have started the investigation from their end, and he is no longer a government employee. We'll keep a close track of this story and bring you more updates on that. But clearly, a big story that's been developing over the last few hours. We'll keep tracking this story and bringing more reactions, both from India and America, as this story develops. But for now, thanks so much for tuning in and for joining the Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.